Hello everyone! Today I'm joined by the incredibly talented Spooky Madison, who I'm starring alongside in the new horror film, The Boy from Below. The cast also includes horror legends such as Dee Wallace, Felissa Rose, and Tommy Lee Wallace. So I wanted to sit down with Spooky and talk more about this project, especially because there is an LGBT storyline in The Boy from Below. This aspect hasn't really been spoken about much, and because queer storytelling is so important to Spooky and myself, I thought we would be the perfect people to tell you more about that. And if you want to get involved with The Boy from Below, we are running an IndieGoGo campaign with some incredible perks. So I will leave that link in the description if you want to check it out. And in the meantime, let's get on with Spooky and talk more about The Boy from Below.
My name is Spooky Madison, and I am playing Quinn Curtis, I think is the last name he decided on.
And my name is Leah Voysey, and I am playing Max, who I don't think has a last name, in The Boy from Below. So I wanted to chat with you today because, you know, there's been a lot of news coming out about The Boy from Below and promoting the IndieGoGo and getting ready to film, but there is a big component about The Boy from Below and our characters in particular that hasn't really been touched on before. And I wanted to give us the opportunity to tell the fans more about the queer storyline that exists in this movie.
December of 2022, I auditioned for the film. Originally, it was called Scream for Summer, and my character's name was Becca, I think, originally. And I decided that I didn't like playing straight characters anymore. I still do, obviously. I'll play whatever character. But I really thought my character could be a little bit more authentic and more well-rounded. So I approached Tori about the possibility of making my character bisexual. I mean, it was the 90s, and I think that 90s queer characters aren't represented very well in general. So I approached him about it, and he was like, I'll think about it. I mean, the script's already written. And I was like, okay, whatever. Fast forward to March of 2023, when he decided to change the entire story into a reboot for The Wicked One, which is his original film. And he came back to me and was like, okay, so let's make Quinn gay, you're right. And I was like, cool. So yeah, I kind of had a hand in pushing Tori in the direction of making my character queer. And then I had followed your production company with your production partner, Late Bloomer. And I was like, oh, this is rad. And I've seen Leah in Terrifier 2, so let's see what Tori thinks. And when I had asked Tori about you, he was like, well, I mean, we'll see. And I was like, no, just do it. It's funny because I had drafted an Instagram message to you and I sent it, and then he said he emailed you, and then I unsent it.
Oh, really?
So he and you talked, and here we are.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you for putting my name out there. I really appreciate it. When he first came to me, originally he wanted me for a different role whose name I actually think is Becca also, because there is a Becca in the film, and originally you were Becca and then I was Becca. Now neither one of us are Becca. But yeah, like when he first came to me, I was supposed to be the smaller role, and then he told me about switching the script and including this queer love story between our two characters. And when I finally talked to you and I heard your side of the story, I just have to say, like, you're an icon, honestly. Tori Jones, our director, to go to him and ask for that, I think is really cool that you felt that you could do that. And then on top of that, for him to not only, you know, just change the gender of the character, but to actually go through and like make rewrites to make the story feel authentically queer. And then on top of that, giving you and I a lot of creative control, I think is really awesome and a really good show of allyship that I've never experienced before playing queer roles.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take those props. And also, like you said, props to Tori for even considering it and hearing me. And yeah. I've known Tori for years, and I know him to be a safe space for me to say, hey, I think my character could be more well-rounded if maybe she was this way instead. And he's a great collaborator on set. So I knew that he would be receptive of that in general.
Yeah, I'm glad that we just have that environment where our voices are being listened to. It's a cool experience to have.
You can tell by the script that he took a lot of care into the dialogue between your character and mine. I remember getting a phone call from him, and it was like midnight, and he was like, okay, listen to this. And he read this dialogue to me before we even got the script. And he was reading it with so much conviction and his voice for the characters. And it made me, not that I was worried, but it reassured me that he was gonna take care of these characters.
I've had situations before where playing a queer character with a straight male director, I felt like my voice hadn't been valued or listened to before, where I made comments about what I wanted to wear or how I felt the character would act or what they would say. And yeah, there have been experiences where I have not been listened to. So it's been cool that both of our experiences have been positive, which is making me like so much more excited. Like it cannot come sooner. I just feel like the audience is really gonna connect with these characters. Horror fans, they always connect with the villains. In a way, you want your villains to succeed because as a horror fan, you wanna see the gore, you wanna see the death. But I think in this film, there are characters I think the audience is really gonna rally behind, and they're gonna want us to live and survive. And especially for the queer community, I've had really great experiences doing conventions this past year and getting to talk about queer representation and getting to talk about late bloomer pictures. And I feel like because there hasn't been a ton of representation in the horror genre for queer fans, when they see it, they like really rally behind those characters. And so I think that we're going to be bringing something to the community that people are really going to love and appreciate and support and want more from.
Yeah, I think that the stereotype of queer characters in horror movies, they are usually, you know, like right behind the black character, they're the next to die.
Yes.
And it's just a terrible trope, and I'm sick of seeing it. And I think that when Fear Street came out, the community was really excited to have this heroine at the center of it who was queer and just thrive, you know, in these horror stories. And I think that for this movie, it's the same goal, is to have these two characters where you're rooting for them throughout the entire movie and you're not like worried that they're gonna die from a stray bullet or, you know, like a random death to further the plot of a straight character.
I like the horror genre, like moving forward with social change. I feel like it is a genre that easily could be left in the past, but it isn't. And you have people like Tori who are being that good ally to us so that like people in our community can see themselves in characters.
I think that this specific indie film is really special because the indie community is amazing, but there seems to be a reuse of actors. I feel like when I see a movie with the same actors in it, it can get kind of boring. It's like the same movie, but just like a different take. And I think it's really important for Tori to have this unique take on a 90s horror slasher, not only with new leads, but also have Tommy Lee Wallace.
Insane.
Like, that's insane. That's gonna be absolutely insane. My heart is already racing.
I am so excited for that. We really do have such a star-studded cast, and I feel lucky to even be included in it. And, you know, getting to act alongside these legends is insane. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, seeing these same movies, it's not even just seeing the same actors, but it's sort of like that same formulaic approach to like the final girl story or, you know, the slasher story, where as an audience member, you kind of go into it knowing what to expect. And I think when you're throwing in new elements, it kind of throws the audience off and it gives them something new where they maybe don't know what's going to happen. So like going into The Boy from Below, like I don't think the audience is going to know if this is a final girl story or not, or if it's something different. And I think that's really exciting.
It's definitely going to captivate audiences in a different way than most indie films have. I hope that it's as special as we feel it is, because I think we're biased, but I believe that it's definitely going to be seen by the right people. Even just if the queer community sees it, that's important because they don't get this very often.
For me, of course, like I want people to see it and I want people to feel the magic about it. That, I mean, I definitely felt it when I read the script. I fell in love with Max instantly, and I want it to be seen by a wide audience. But the most important thing for me is that we're creating characters for the queer community, and that is, at the end of the day, my priority. And I think that we are going to do that just with us being in the film and with Tori giving us control over a lot of the creativity behind the characters, I think that the queer community is really gonna find what is special about it and what we're feeling.
I think it's gonna be really cool. And I'm excited to get on set. I feel like it's been such a long time coming. I mean, like I said, I auditioned for this in December of 2022, but that was back with a completely different movie. And when I auditioned for Scream for Summer, there was 2 auditions that I did, and it was for everybody who auditioned for this character. They auditioned with this like emotional scene, and then they auditioned as the villain, because I think Tori didn't know who the villain was going to be. It was a very much a whodunit, like a I Know What You Did Last Summer type movie. And I think at that point of casting, he didn't even know who the villain was going to be.
Well, I like that, you know, obviously at some point a script needs to be finished. You have to say like, okay, this is what we're shooting. But I love people being open to change and not feeling like so rigid. So having that flexibility, I think, is going to be really great on set too. Just like allowing the experience to like inform the story is really cool. But that's fun to audition as the villain. I like that.
It's interesting. I don't know if you can see it. I have a mask right there. I was in this Horror Hub Marketplace commercial, and they gave me the mask at the end. And so I was auditioning with this mask, and that was really fun to be able to like take the mask off and reveal who I was, like via audition. But I'm excited to not be a crazy bitch in this movie.
Yeah.
I play a lot of crazy bitches.
Yeah, I feel like in this film, both of our characters are really sincere, emotional characters, which I like. And, you know, we're just going about our life and we're just trying to, you know, figure out our relationship while all this like craziness is happening around us. And I think fans are really gonna like that, seeing like the 2 storylines that are kind of happening together, like with the boy and what he's doing and why he's attacking who he's attacking. I'm trying not to give away like too much, but outside of that, like what our characters are going through isn't horrific at the beginning. Like at the beginning, it's fun. We're just kind of like figuring ourselves out, and we're reuniting after like many years of being away from each other.
From the dynamic of Max and Quinn versus like what's going on with the boy, it's such a juxtapose that I think it's going to be very visually appealing to see what's happening on both sides. And I'm really excited to play this dynamic between you and I, because we knew each other, not in like an intimate way, but in an intimate way that only like your best friend knows.
Yeah.
And then Max leaves, which is really shitty. As Spooky, I know why Max left. I understand why Max left. But as Quinn, I don't get it. Why would you leave me, you know?
Yeah.
So that's going to be really fun to play.
Yeah, and then for me, you know, coming back and having to answer that and having to explain that to you and like get your forgiveness, I think will be challenging as an actor.
I'm a very visual thinker, so when I'm visualizing the relationship between Max and Quinn, when Max leaves, it's like she took a part of Quinn with her. Because, I mean, I think that if Max stayed, Quinn might have figured some stuff out a little bit sooner. But when she left, she took something with her, and that wound was maybe just starting to heal. And then when you came back, it was like putting a limb back on something that was already trying to heal. And so it doesn't quite fit right, but you know it's supposed to be there, and you have to kind of figure out how to incorporate it in your life again. I don't know. Like, I'm just so excited to play these characters. You have no idea. Because like you said, Tori is very collaborative, and I'm excited to do not necessarily like improv, but play with the dialogue between the 2 of them.
I think we're gonna have a good time on set for sure. I think we're gonna make something really special for the horror community, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I want to thank you again so much for putting my name out there and basically being the reason that I'm a part of this. We've never met in person. We talked on the phone. This is our first time face to face, but you know, when we get on set, I think it's gonna be really great. And yeah, I can't wait.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5". How tall are you?
I'm 5'3.5", but I would say 5'4" if I was standing up straight.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I really appreciate it. Is there anything besides The Boy from Below that you would like to plug today?
I think I just would love everyone to check out my IMDb, my socials. I think that's the best way to keep track of what I'm doing. I'm Spooky Madison on IMDb, and then on Instagram, I am The Goodbye Ghoul, which is a play on The Goodbye Girl, which is a movie. And I'm going to put all of those links in the description, so if you want to follow Spooky, all of the links are there for you. I will let you go, but thank you for your time and talking about queer storytelling with me. I cannot wait to get on set. Yeah, I'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I hope that getting to hear from Spooky and myself about our characters Quinn and Max has gotten you even more excited for this project. Don't forget to check out the IndieGoGo to claim one of our amazing perks and help us bring The Boy from Below to life. It is a really special story that I am so honored to be a part of, and I think you're all really, really going to enjoy it. My name is Leah, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, got cold blood. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 chill day.